Technological innovation and information communication technologies present an opportunity to foster greater economic development, improve levels of education and training, and also potentially to bridge gender inequality within society. But before I continue to talk about technology, I want to use the audience in this room today as an example of how dynamic innovation and communicative technology can really be. So as an example, as I'm standing here and talking to you in real time, the majority of you in the audience have some form of device in front of you, and you're currently texting, tweeting, blogging, or creating some form of information or content which you are sharing with an audience or with the broader public. Now, as I've said, that is happening real time. It's happening for free or relatively for free if you have an internet connection and access to a device. And it's also as quickly and as easily as you are creating that information, the audience on the other end is able to either ignore it or make use of that information as easily as it was for you to create it or send it. That is the true power of communicative technology. But the challenge for any technology theorist or any person that is interested in how we can extend the conversation with regards to innovation and technology and how we can make use of that great innovation to try and solve everyday world problems, especially in the developing world, faces a bit of a conundrum because traditionally technology has really been seen as a nice to have with regards to social media, whether with regards to it's a Facebook status update of yours, an Instagram picture of what you had for breakfast, lunch or supper. It really is used by most people as a frivolous means of communication. The challenge for, as I've mentioned, people who are concerned with regards to what's happening in the developing world and how we can make use of innovation and technology to solve some of the biggest challenges that the developing world faces in the 21st century and beyond is how we shift the conversation from the frivolous to the substantive. And that's a question that I really grappled with over the last few years and was really the catalyst for me to launch my postgraduate studies, both here at the UCT and abroad in the US. Before I became an academic and before I took a career at development agencies, I worked in advertising. I was a pretty successful ad exec working for a big advertising agency in Cape Town. And I'll never forget, for 4 years, I walked in every single day and our agency's mantra was, on the wall for every single employee to see, it said, "We sell or else." Purely capitalistic mentality. It was lots of fun, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time in advertising. It really exposed me to the power of technology for the first time. But what I really grappled with was how, you had some of the most intelligent brains around a table making use of some of the most powerful communication technologies available to them. And what we did from 9 to 5, sometimes beyond, and tried to win awards with, was trying to sell people things that A, they either couldn't afford, didn't want, or possibly even didn't need. And for 4 years, I walked in every single day, and that was the mantra, we sell or else. And I bought into it, as everyone else did. But as I developed and as I started to think about things critically, and I thought, we're really missing the boat with regards to what we have available to us as a tool and what we're making use of it for, there was a real big disconnect. So one day I walked in and I looked at this, big board and it said, we sell or else. And I said, we've got it completely wrong. It shouldn't be we sell or else. It should be we should do good because we have the obligation to. Now, obviously, I kept that thought very much to myself because, that kind of mentality doesn't really fit well in a hardcore marketing and advertising environment like the one that I was in. But what I did was I had an opportunity, to get some funding to come to UCT and start my master's degree. I wrote a book on technology and how technology can be used to really improve the lives of people who are really not as fortunate as many of us, and how they can use basic technology to try and improve their lives. So the challenge was for me to move the conversation with regards to technology from the frivolous to the substantive. And I was of the opinion, and potentially the naive opinion, that innovation and technology, specifically in a developing world context, can be used and leveraged to promote sustainable economic development and growth. It could potentially be the solution to our maternal health challenges that we face in the developing world. It can potentially provide solutions to climate change. And I think most importantly, and specifically in a South African context, it can be leveraged and be used to try and bridge the gap with regards to the monumental impediments that the developing world faces to provide a decent education to our young people. So with that challenge, I undertook my studies, both here in South Africa and abroad, and that's what I've committed my life to over the last few years with regards to how technology can be used to improve the lives of people that really need it the most. So if I give you an example of how technology can tangibly be used to improve the situation of people on the ground, I'll give you the example of entrepreneurship, which is incredibly important for any economy anywhere in the world. In developing world countries like Indonesia, in Egypt, and Nigeria, micro-entrepreneurs account for 38% of their country's gross domestic product, respectively, in each country. Micro-entrepreneurs are responsible, and small businesses are responsible for new business ideas, creating new jobs, and also being able to come up with new and innovative ways to sell products to people all around the world, or specifically in their geographical area. According to a 2011 World Bank study, micro-entrepreneurs and small businesses create a disproportionate amount of new jobs in any developing world context. But unfortunately, entrepreneurs, specifically in the developing world, really rely on wireless technology and ICT infrastructure to be able to function as micro-entrepreneurs or small businesses. But unfortunately, in the context of a developing world country like South Africa, a lot of the time there is a disconnect between infrastructure development and what can be delivered on the ground. And I'll give you a tangible example of what I mean. In sub-Saharan Africa, it is estimated that less than 29% of roads are paved or tarred. About a quarter of the population have access to electricity, and it is estimated that about 3 in every 100 people have access to a landline telephone. In Indonesia, the challenges are so great that 75% of households in that country exist on less than $2 a day. So when you marry that level of poverty and lack of infrastructure, it makes it incredibly hard to fathom how entrepreneurs or small businesses can develop, or people can actually get ahead in life. What is potentially revolutionary in the 21st century is how a simple, low-tech device like a mobile phone, I'm not even talking about a smartphone, can change the way people do business and how they can improve their lives. A mobile phone allows us to communicate better. It gives us access to information. It allows us to sell products across geographical boundaries. It allows us to reach new consumers. It exposes us to mobile payment systems. It can reduce fraud and crime around the world. And it also can serve as an empowerment tool to women and the most disadvantaged in the developing world. Now, to give you tangible examples of what I've just talked about, in India, you have the Self-Employed Women's Association, which is a group of about 1.1 million people, mainly women, who come together to improve their bargaining power within the Indian economy. And what this association, what they do is, they get together, they have a database, and every single day they send out a basic SMS on a normal cell phone to their members, which gives them information with regards to, so if you're in the agricultural sector, they are able to reach their farming community members and give them information on basic capital and commodity prices for that day or for that week, which empowers the farmers to make educated decisions with regards to when they cultivate their land, when they sell their products, and where they sell their products. That specific example has led to these farmers being able to increase not only their profits, but also their bottom line income with regards to bringing more money into their business because they are able to make more informed decisions based on the information that they receive. Another very basic example is Kenya, where you have the Farmers Helpful Network. which again is a network of farmers who have access to mobile phones, and once a week they get an SMS from the university in Kenya, from the agricultural department, where you have top professors and scientists in the agricultural field who send these basic farmers, some of them who haven't even completed your average grade 1 or grade 2 level of education. They send them the latest information with regards to crop circulations, artificial insemination with regards to their seeds, and also crop insurance information, which again empowers these farmers at a very basic level with the information that they need, that they can improve their businesses and they can improve their livelihoods. Mobile technology is incredibly important, but more so for women in the developing world, because it is estimated by the UN that there are 300 million fewer women who have access to mobile phones compared to men. That equates to about 21%, a 21% gender gap with regards to mobile technology from men to women. But if we zoom in per continent, that number rises to 23% in Africa, 24% in Asia, and 37% in the Middle East. Not only is mobile technology very, very important for women, but it also is an opportunity for them to tangibly improve their lives. Again, according to a UN Development Program study, it is estimated that approximately 51% of women who have access to a mobile phone can increase their existing income based on owning a mobile phone. Women can also can add to their existing income through other entrepreneurial business by 41% if they have access to a mobile phone. So these are tangible ways that individuals, specifically women and young girls, can make use of low-tech technology to improve their lives. In terms of education and training, you have in Bangladesh the example of the Global Ready e-training program, which enrolls 1,000 students every single year. That program specifically teaches them basic IT and information technology skills. The program itself has a 95% graduation rate, and out of that 95%, 75% of the graduates go on to either improve their lives with regards to the skills that they learn by obtaining new jobs or developing community-based projects where they live. That's why it is so important to invest in women when it comes to technology. Because studies have shown that if you train a man or a male with regards to new innovations or new ideas around technology, they are three out of 4 times more likely to take that information and move out of their community or village to seek a better life somewhere else. Whereas women are 100% guaranteed to take the skills that they learn from various programs and entrench themselves in the community. So it's reach one, teach one. And that's the mantra that they have. So it's being able to have this echo chamber effect with regards to if you train one woman or one young girl, she's 100% more likely to be able to use that information that she's learned to be able to reach, her community and improve the lives of those people on the ground. The concept of what I'm trying to talk about here today is how low-tech technology, or what I call appropriate technology, can be used in the developing world. With running the risk of being called a cyber utopian or someone who completely believes in technology and how that can save the world, I'm not trying to stand up here and be that person. What I'm saying is what I've been able to map out here today in just a few basic examples is how low-tech technology, called appropriate technology, can be used on the ground in tangible ways that can improve people's lives on the ground. That's, in my opinion, how we shift the conversation with regards to technology and innovation from the superficial to the substantive. Thank you very much.